Welcome to the Ronnie and Bo Show. We are brought to you by Prescott Realty. This is a good time to enjoy our friends at Prescott Realty, and you should too.
PrescottRealty.com. You can call them with questions, 928-851-4500. They are specialists in their fields. If you're looking to buy a home for the first time, call first-time home buyer specialist Kylie Elliott at Prescott Realty, 928-851-4500. I think this is going to be a big show today.
Yes, I do too. I've been excited just to get together today and dive in.
But I think every show is a big show.
I know. Well, these are good. And for all of you that are listening every single week, thanks so much for listening on all sorts of platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Please try to like, subscribe, join.
Yes.
As, instead of asking them to like and subscribe, let's just give out the address and tell them to come over here.
That's a great idea.
Right? I mean, it would be a lot easier for us than telling them to subscribe and just show up.
Yeah, seriously. We
come on over.
You probably need to put some pants on though first.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what our topic is today.
Yeah, but we got a good daily dose first.
Good.
Yeah, the daily dose for today are some ways to play in the rain. Because we're getting a lot of rain up here in northern Arizona. Prescott area is getting slammed with the
monsoons.
Woo. Yep, and if you're not familiar with monsoons, monsoon is Spanish for I don't know,
San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. It is just a flooding of sorts, and if you got a backyard, then it fills up. And
I told somebody the other day.
Yeah.
It may have been you. You were over in California, not here yet.
Yeah.
Coming back from vacation. But
yeah,
I told
you
somebody.
Warned me.
I said, you can not get as wet from a waterfall in Hawaii. I didn't say it that way, but something like that.
Exactly.
A waterfall in Hawaii would not get you as wet as these northern Arizona monsoons.
That's for sure. And right about, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, here come the major clouds, and there was lightning. Somebody I know, their house got struck by lightning.
No way.
Yeah, in this last storm.
I was driving down Glassford Hill, and it looked like a campy Hollywood set.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was too much light in the middle of the night, and you said, "Oh, that's just overdoing it." And I saw a lightning strike.
Yeah,
it came in 3 lines.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. It's just crazy.
It is a little bit terrifying. This one split their chimney in half and blew out all the electronics in the house and actually split their windshield of the car parked outside right down the middle.
That's scary.
And you hear people that actually survive being struck by it. I don't.
Well, the other night, they say it's 1 in 100 million odds.
Yeah,
no, it's about 1 in 4 odds.
Yeah, exactly.
Last night.
If you're in this town, it is.
The other night, yeah.
That's for sure. But rather than being scared by it, maybe we could just go play in it.
Yeah.
And the rain, not the lightning.
And some of these things, you're going to go, oh, that's just what little kids do. No. If you're an adult, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring out your inner child.
Exactly. You all sat inside your house on a rainy day when you were a kid and your parents didn't let you go outside, and you thought, when I'm a parent someday, I'm going to be the kind of parent that lets my kids go out and play in the rain.
Yeah.
So let's let our kids go out and let's ourselves join them and do all sorts of things. So what do you think we should do out in the rainbow? Maybe we can do it later today.
Make mud pies.
Ooh.
I mean, that's probably the quintessential thing to do.
Yes.
That
is,
right?
And it's making a whole lot of mud, so it makes it easy.
Yeah,
I like that.
You can use those plastic beach toys,
Yeah.
And fill it with mud and let it harden and make your mud pie.
I like that. I'd love to just play with the water toys, or did you ever make the paper boats and then float them down the gutter or something?
My kids did that just the other day.
Did they?
I think with leaves.
Oh, that's cool. See, I like that. Except now. Did you ever see the movie or read the book It?
No.
Yeah, so the little kid makes a paper boat and then puts it in the rain gutter, and it goes down and it falls down the gutter.
Okay.
and then he reaches down the gutter and sees a clown in the gutter. That's the worst. That's the worst.
How did we get there? Now,
I don't know.
What was his name? Singing in the rain.
Yeah, Gene Kelly. Yeah,
Fred Astaire?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
you
it's
know
Gene
more than
Kelly.
I know.
No, I think it's Gene Kelly. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I like that movie.
But that's one of those things where you go, oh, that would be fun, that would be romantic, that'd be cute.
Yes.
But it's not practical.
Right.
You go out there. It feels good to get your shirt, a couple drops on your shirt. But if you go out in a monsoon, then it's just not practical. But who cares?
But who cares? That's the whole point.
Come back in the house, have water dripping off your nose, off your ears.
Yes.
Go in and get a towel.
Yes,
have fun.
exactly. If there's a theme for the Ronnie and Bo show, it is who cares?
What did Robin Williams say about running in the rain? Carpa per diem. Yeah. Oh no, that was something else. Never mind.
Oh man, I think there's so much to do out there in the rain. You could rescue worms.
Yep. Or find worms, hunt worms. Yep.
Right. You got it. I mean that's
especially in puddles, right? You got to get them to higher ground.
Yep. We're rescuing everything else these days, so we might as well
rescue the worms. And some of these are, mud, play in the mud, make mud pies, dance in the rain. There are some that are just a little more practical.
Okay, yeah.
Use your senses. Ooh. Now, that's not going out and being crazy and running and splashing.
No.
Go out there and listen to the sounds.
Oh, man.
A little bit of meditation, maybe.
Exactly.
You smell.
Yeah,
you can smell rain, right?
Right.
That kind of stuff.
And listening to it, you could make music in the rain. You could take the pots and pans out, or different things. You think that are going to make a different noise when the rain hits them.
Yep.
Go make some music out there with the rain. I mean, that's kind of using your senses and whatever you got in the kitchen.
And I know there's always one in the neighborhood or one in our group of friends that measures rain. Do you know somebody who puts out a little measuring cup or something and say, "Hey, look, we collected 6 inches in the last month," or
I
whatever?
hear about those people. And
it's fun to do.
And that would be a good idea. So go measure some rain next time.
And somebody told us that you can I don't know how to say it, but make mud art. So we say make mud pies.
Yeah.
But get a stick or a twig.
Yeah.
Or a real, art brush that you have in your little collection, and dip it in the mud, and then draw on the sidewalk or on the driveway.
Oh, nice.
Could you do or paint with mud?
Yeah, you could paint and then stick it out there in the water and watch it.
Depending if it's raining or just rained, right?
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty.
Those are some things
good.
that you can
My
do.
kids would love to just have a water war. As long as you're wet, then you might as well bring some water guns or water balloons and really just go for it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yep.
Yeah.
And you mentioned making music by putting pots and pans out and letting the drops hit them.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you put a saucepan out.
Yeah.
On the backyard.
Yes.
And then you put a cookie tray, those would make different types of sounds.
That is brilliant.
Isn't that fun?
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
My boys, I could see sledding or bodyboarding down a grassy hill because it's now wet in the rain. So get your boogie board, or get the what'd you just say, that the cookie tray?
Yeah.
Go sit on that.
Yeah.
And
or the what are those? Yeah, the boogie board, or the snow things.
The Ronnie and Bo show cannot be held liable for any damage that comes to your.
Do not. What do they say? Do not attempt these.
Yeah,
stunts.
Exactly. We are not endorsing any such activity, but it would be fun.
But we are all sort of children inside.
Yes.
And it's hard to take that first step. But when you're out there fully drenched, it is fun, right?
Yes.
You got to let your inhibitions go and have fun.
That is so true. Right. That is so true.
Well, that's a good daily dose.
I think that's a good day. That's actually practical and helpful in our rainy season.
We could also do what turkeys do. Go out, stand in the middle of your yard, look straight up and open your mouth, and then you would really get a daily dose.
Oh, boy. Well, I want to talk to you about nicknames today.
I have a nickname. I think my name is a nickname, isn't it?
Bo is?
Yeah.
So is it
so
short for something?
Yeah, but I think that's a nickname, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, I don't know what the difference between. Anyways,
yeah,
we'll get into that. I don't know
down,
what a if they call you a name.
Yeah.
That's being mean and they're calling you a name and then
Yeah.
a nickname. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
now my story is I was born James,
Okay.
and
so
before my mom got out of the hospital
Yeah.
in Texas,
Yeah.
Southern,
Yes.
and before I got out of the hospital, the story says my name was James, and before I got out of the hospital, it went from James to Jimbo to Bo.
Well,
A lot of James or Jimbos, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Remember Jimmy Connors, the famous
Yes.
tennis? He was Jimbo.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
so mine
Well,
went
and
from
then-
James to Jimbo to Bo.
Wow. So James Woods, like the actor.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got a story about that one day.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
But,
save it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I mean, if we're going back into the past as far as the origins of our name, so my
Ron Merrill. Ronnie.
Yes, my original birth name was Francis.
So your first or last name?
First name was Francis. Middle name was Ronald.
Were you?
And I didn't know it.
Were you born in Long Beach?
Yes.
Did you ever go to Hollywood?
Yes.
So you could say Francis went to Hollywood.
Oh man.
So you didn't know that you're using your middle name.
Yeah, and that had kind of been the case, and now it doesn't exist, and so I the Francis part is it's not something I like, but there was a season where people called me that when I told them. There was a whole season, and they gave every nickname version of it. And none of them are that great. Frank is actually the only thing that rescues Francis.
Right.
But they did Fran, Franny,
Yep.
you name it, and that's not a good.
Francisco.
Yeah.
I went to a high school in San Diego named after you, Francis Parker.
Oh man, yeah. Well, and so I don't know. It's just Francis Chan is a pastor and author that I look up to, and he's the only one that's redeemed that name.
Like I said, I was born James, and it went right to Bo, and I must have been 2 or 3, maybe 5 years old, and my parents pulled me aside and said, son, you were named after Thomas Jefferson. Now, they didn't say that. You know what I'm referring to. That's an inside joke. That's a Brian Regan line.
Too good. That's too good.
Brian Regan said, my parents pulled me aside and said, you were named after Thomas Jefferson. And I said, but my name's Brian. He said, no, you were named after Thomas Jefferson. I said, that's how my parents were.
Oh, man. I like that. That makes sense. So then growing up, my best friend, his dad, Al, he called me Donut Hole.
What?
And now, I'm elementary school all the way through junior high.
Were you
I
pudgy?
am now 44 years old, and he's in his late 60s. He still calls me Donut Hole.
What? Where did that come from?
So I don't know, other than he looked at me at one point and I'd done something really stupid, and he's like, you are such a donut hole. and it just stuck. And ever since then,
So donut hole is a derogatory term for unintelligent.
Yeah, I think so.
How do we go from that?
You're the lump of nothing in the middle of something good.
Okay.
Maybe
that's it.
That's my interpretation.
So you said Al. His name was Al.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is Al short for
Alan?
or Albert? Got you there, didn't I?
You did.
Huh?
I guess
I
it
don't
could
know.
be both. I mean, because there's a lot of those. There's a lot of the abbreviated Robert down to Bob or Bobby.
I've got a brother-in-law whose given name is William,
Yes.
and he's never gone by that. His name is Bud.
Bud.
And how do you get Bud
Yeah.
from William?
What?
But he's the third, so
Okay.
maybe you get Bud from being the third William.
Right.
I don't know.
But that's
he's
it.
told me. I
I
just
mean,
never listened.
There's so many Williams I get being shortened down to Will, but then how did William turn into Bill?
Yeah, that's right. Or there's no Billiam.
No.
And here's one for you. How is John short for Jack?
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Four
That's
letters for
so
four
weird.
letters.
Yeah, JFK was
Yep.
that's a really odd one.
William, Bill, Robert, Bob. Now, I was raised Bo.
Yes.
And this is just one of these things that life you just have to learn in life.
Right.
No one has done it before you,
Yeah.
and there's no. But when I was, a teenager or a young adult, or all my life, most of all my life, you'd be in a situation where you'd have to give your name.
Yeah.
Like you're buying something at a department store.
Yes.
And like I'd be buying something for my mom for Mother's Day.
Right.
And I'd say, "Can you wrap this?" And they said, "Sure, give us 20 minutes."
Yeah.
And they would take my information. I'd be walking around the mall. They said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Bo Woods."
Yeah.
And they would inevitably, more females, inevitably say, "Bo, B-O-W? B-O-W?" And I would say to myself, as an 18-year-old, as a 26-year-old, that's what a dog says. Bow, wow, wow. Why are you saying B-O-W for Bo? And then I said, wait a minute. B-O-W on top of a gift is Bo. So I would get, and then I would get, and then you get to that point where they ask you how to spell it, and then they spell it, and you just agree with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's your name? Bo. B-E-A-U?
Yes.
Yep, you got it. That's right.
Exactly.
Starbucks.
Exactly.
Bo,
they do that
put
on my
B-E-A-U.
cup. This is no joke. I had on my Starbucks, my name is Ron. They spelled it R-A-W-N. I'm not kidding. I thought that's I've never exactly.
Maybe they were sleepy. Maybe they were yawning when they wrote it.
I have never ever seen that attempted again. That's a difficult one. Yeah, there's so many of those. When we used to go into restaurants, and as a family when I was growing up, my dad liked to give fake names.
Okay.
So he would, just how, what's the name, and he'd say, Weatherby, and and okay, how many? 3? Okay, yeah. Well, one time we went in and he walked up, and I don't know why, but he said, "Can you seat 3 humans?" And then the person wrote down Newman, party of 3, thinking,
Newman.
and then
Can you see 3 Newmans?
Yeah, and then they ended up calling Dooman, party of 3, and then that just fed
Thurman?
the whole thing. Yeah, because you just keep rolling with it.
So we named our daughter a very unique name.
Yeah.
My wife and I met in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
At the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean rolls into that's where that's located. And so we were very fond of the Chesapeake Bay. And so she was going to be Ella. 8.5 months into the pregnancy, we picked her name. She was going to be Ella. And then my wife had an epiphany and said, "How about Chesapeake?" And we were in California.
So
we were away from the East Coast. So we said, well, that's very unique. It may be difficult, but at least you're on the other side of the country, so she's not named after the Chesapeake Gardens, the Chesapeake Apartments, the Chesapeake Grocery Store, the Chesapeake, Virginia. So I said, well, it'll be a little easier being on the West Coast. Her name's Chesapeake.
Yeah.
And we call her Chessa for short.
Yeah.
But we did that once.
Yeah.
Her and I were in an airport, and we went to go get Mom a Starbucks coffee in the airport.
Yeah.
And so, you're with your little 9-year-old daughter, and the woman says your name, and I just want to, light up my daughter's face. So I give the woman Chesapeake.
Yeah.
And then we pay, and we take 2 steps over, and she says, "You put my name on the cup." It was fantastic.
Oh, that's
And so
cool.
she makes the coffee just like you did with R-A-W-N.
Yeah.
And she said, "Chesapeake." And we looked at it. It was CHXZPKKUEY.
The symbol for boron, and oh man,
So that's sort of fun. If you want to mess with people, tell them your name's Chesapeake. They'll never figure out how to spell it.
Blow a fuse for sure. Yeah. Well, it's cool because these nicknames. Actually, this is one of those topics that came from one of our new listeners.
Yes.
A good friend named Cassie down in the Phoenix area, and Cassie is short for Cassandra.
There you go.
And so that's a good nickname. But then I wonder if the nickname, not just the shortening of real names, but those. Like donut hole. I mean, sometimes you do something stupid and then that sticks with you, or then you wonder about
does it give you a stigma?
Yeah, or just how I would love to know some of those origin stories of how people got their nicknames. We did the band names episode a few days ago, and how they got their names. I think that's kind of cool.
No, I told you the other day, and we don't need to elaborate, but I was playing Pop Warner football, and I was scared to death. I was a pencil, and I didn't want to hit, and my pads, I was blinking when you get hit.
Yeah.
You're 6 or something like
man.
that.
Yeah.
And my coaches nicknamed me Bambi because I would just, jump from everything, and I was just awkward and stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to laugh, but it was a put down.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really inspiring.
No,
way to coach.
That one doesn't do it. I think that's one of those things too, because there's some of those. If you grew up in, I don't know, you got the nickname Meatball, or there's a story behind that. I'm sure. But there's a lot of cool nicknames, like for guys. You've got Crusher. Or something that just would be awesome. That sounds like a dog name or something.
So I'll tell you a story. My wife and I have been married for 19 years, and when we get married, our first year, we have her boxes and my boxes, and we move them into our first house.
Yeah.
And they're in the garage, and, who knows what it is.
Right.
Stuff from 9th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And so we finally get to the garage, and we open up our stuff, and we're going to organize our new life together, brand new together. And I find her school yearbook.
Yeah. Yep.
And I said, and I grab it, you can imagine. I go, I'm going to read this. She goes, give it to me. No, I'm going to read this. And so I opened it up, and I wasn't expecting this. And I opened it up, and it said, Jennifer, you were so much fun. See you next year. And then the next page, Jennifer, have a great summer. And the next page, Jen, you're so funny. And the next page, Jen, you're the greatest friend. And then the next page, puppy, I love you, and I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
and it said some guy's name, and I said, Puppy. And she goes, give me that. And it was her high school boyfriend called her Puppy. And so 19 years later to this day, I said, hey, Puppy, what are we having for dinner tonight, Puppy?
Oh, man, that is too
Puppy,
good.
how was work?
See, that's a good one, and you can never let that. They can never let that go.
I said, why did he call you Puppy? And she said, I don't know her answer, but she said something, it was just affectionate. I said, are you sure it wasn't because you just followed along on his heels?
Oh, man. I love it when they are affectionate. Even if they're funny or cute or whatever. I have a friend named Chris who is so annoyed. Like, both of us are super annoyed by the people that either they've forgotten your name or call you buddy or pal or hey skipper. It's just
when you're at work and you're going down the hall.
Right.
Hey, Skipper.
There's some ladies in our office that it's always terms of endearment that are really sweet. It's hey sunshine or thanks beautiful and that's fine. But yeah, I can't stand.
By the way, do you
buddy.
remember this? I'm assuming that this has happened to you. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
I remember this specifically.
Yes.
In my relationship with my wife. Your parents say it, your grandparents say it, your friends say it, your older brother says it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not ever, I don't care how many years I'm going to be married, I'm going to call my wife by her name. I'm never going to call her honey.
Right.
Do you remember how you said that?
Yeah.
And then a year later, you said, I just called my wife honey.
Yeah.
I remember.
What happened?
Sweetheart, what do you call? Why do you turn into some weird, different person?
I don't know.
I mean, you call them for 15 years, their name, and then you wake up one morning, sweetheart, yes, honey,
yes.
dear, can you? Why do we do that?
I don't know. I think it's just part of aging.
All right, well, we got to go, Donut Hole.
You got it, Jimbo. Oh, man.
Well, I want to thank Prescott Realty for sponsoring this episode of the Ronnie and Bo Show.
Yep, they are such fantastic people serving the greater Prescott area since 1991. And so give them a call for a no-commitment free consultation at 928-851-4500.
Prescott Realty. And don't forget to shop for our Ronnie and Bo trucker caps and T-shirts.
Yep, on Facebook and
show.
Instagram. You can message us there, and we will hook you up and get that to you.